Okay, x, and then y, and this is how we write the coordinate with brackets and a comma in between. So this is my x-axis, this is my y-axis. As Sam said, point B right here is the point 0, 0. Okay, and then you can see to the right of it is positive numbers, to the left of it is the negative, on the top is positive, and on the bottom are the negatives. So just think of it like a number line. So if this is 0, this is -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. I've seen people make silly mistakes, and then they do 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. If this is your axis middle, this is where 0 is. Okay, and then from 0, -1 is over here, not over here. Hey, so let's try it out. How many of you played Battleship before? One time? Okay, some. Okay, I can see most of the boys have played Battleship. It's okay. So, what is the coordinate of point O? Okay, Sam? 8 and 7. Right? Okay. How do you know it's 8 and 7 and not 7, 8? Because the x comes first. So 8 and 7. Right? Same thing with the negative side. What is the coordinate of m then? This point right here. Yusa, what is the coordinate of this point? Ah, yes. -7 and 1. That's where that point meet. The -7, comma 1. Okay. This is like a little fun sheet. Okay. Disclaimer, I did not come up with this joke, okay? Because I know it's not funny. What did one year say to the other? And to solve it, you have to figure out the secret message. So 6 and 3. 6 and 3, what's the letter? That's 6 and 3. I, right? So I, something. 1 and 5. 1 on the X, 5 on the Y. What letter? N. -4, -6, other than 7. -4 and 6. What letter does it go to? Sorry? I heard it somewhere. E. That's right. All right. -6 and 3. -6, +3. Michelle? V. All right. 4 and 0. 4 and 0. That means I don't go up, I don't go down. It's on the axis. Respond? E. Good. Charles. -5 and 0. What letter?
-5 is 0. Okay. We get -5 first, and we get the 0. Okay, that's R.
That's R, right. So what did one year say to the other? I never something. Take 2 minutes to solve this riddle now. I never knew we both lived on the same block. Ha ha ha. Right? Because your left ear never sees your right ear, even though they're like, in the same area. Alright, they can't see, they can't talk to each other. There you go. Okay. How many of you got that pun? Okay. Okay, then just haha. Remember I said the disclaimer, I did not come up with this math joke. So, if you got it, yay. If you didn't like it, well, you learned some math. That's what I care about. Okay, so let's move to page 7. Okay, so page 7. Hours of studying and grades. You're given a table. So before we graph it, Yusuf, for this way.
Take the pictures and you don't have to take the
Let's put that phone away then. Okay. So Notice when you guys do homework or when like you guys like to look at each other's and compare your answers. If you see your graph is something like this, that's like this size, and then somebody else's graph is this size, does it mean that you're wrong? Does it mean one of you is wrong? No, why not?
It depends on how much of a difference we could between each.
Okay, so in other words, the scale, it's just a matter of the scale. So if I give you a grid like this and I don't give you a scale, you need to come up with a scale. I don't want a graph that's like this small. I don't want a graph that you have to extend out all the way here. So try to use up just this space. In in elementary school, your teacher gave you the grid, gave you all the numbers. Now you guys have to come up with the numbers. So looking at my table right here, again, what letter comes first? X or Y? X. So that means this column is X, this column is Y. Right? So what is the smallest and biggest X number? Yep. Good. Okay. What's a good scale to go up by then? If you have to fit 0 to 10 in here, so every 2 blocks. Okay, so maybe every 2 blocks is 1. Okay, so that's my scale. Now, what about the Y? What's my smallest? What's my biggest number? Michelle? And my biggest? Right. Okay, so now here, that means I have to fit all the way up to 100 in this small space. I cannot go by ones, obviously. There's no 100 box. So what should I say each box is? Rizwan? 10. Yeah, sure. So I can say every box is 10. Okay. Independent variable. So independent means nothing depends on it. Like it's on its own. So x is your independent variable, and so in this case is the number of hours studying. Hours studying. Okay. Dependent variable is your y, and in this case it's grade. Okay. So what do you think? So when I make a graph, what do you think is an appropriate title? Hours of studying compared to your grades. Okay, that I like that.
Hours of study with proportion to grade.
Okay, so I like the creative.
That would be grade in proportion to hours.
Excellent, good. So this is there's a creative title and a standard title. Standard title is always y versus x. So in this case, you can say grades versus hours of study. Okay, so it's not that I don't like the creativity, but if you say hours of studying compared to grade, it is wrong because it's always your y compared to your x, your dependent variable compared to your independent. Okay, so make sure you can never go wrong. I know you guys do a ton and tons of graphs in science. So in science, this is a standard title, okay, that you can use. Your y axis versus your x axis. Okay. How do I calculate average? Okay, Rubash? Yep. Yeah. So 20 plus 60 plus 70 plus 80 plus 90 plus 100. And then since there's 6 data points, I divide it by 6 and I get 70. Okay. So now that we have all this data, we can make our graph. All right, so should I do a L graph or a T graph? Which type of graph should I do? Yep. Why? There's no negatives. That's right. So I can just simply make my L graph. And then as we said, this is X, this is Y. Okay. I'm gonna, oh, what is this number right here in the corner?
It's 0.
Every coordinate has how many numbers? Every coordinate has 2 numbers. You gave me 1 number. You said 0. So what's the
It's 0, 0.
0, 0? That's right. It's 0 here, and it's also 0 here. Okay. I'm emphasizing on this because I've seen a lot of people. Oh, they see the first number is 20. They put 20 here. You can't. Right? That number is always 0, 0. So we said every 2 boxes once. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And then here, we're going, every box is 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Oh, I don't need to go any further. Later on though, later on, I know that my maximum is just 100, but eventually you wanna make sure you have a little bit more space on top and a little bit more space on the after as well, because on Monday's lesson we're gonna be extending our graph to make predictions. Okay. So now we can plot 0, 20, 0, and 20 right on the axis right here. 2 and 60. 2, 60 right here. 4 and 70. And 70. Right. Oops. 4 and 70. Okay. 6 and 80. 6 and 80. Okay. 8 and 90. 8 and 90. And then 10 and 100. Okay. That's what I got. So, is there a relation between the hours of studying and grades? Yep.
As long as you're studying more than 0 hours, every 2 hours of study equals 10. About 10.
Okay, good. Okay, so you're saying that there is a relation between hours of studies and grades. So if there is a relationship, that means I should connect the dots. Okay. In kindergarten, you guys did connect the dots, like you know the A B C D E, and then you keep going, and then you get an apple or a banana. So are we doing that again? Are we going back to kindergarten? No. What should I do? Yeah. Okay, a trend line. Good. How many lines am I going to draw here? How many lines am I drawing? Oh, we made a season plan. So you're there, and that one, and yeah, yep. 2. Anyone else? How many lines should I be drawing here? 1 line. Okay, so in grade 9, we're only drawing 1 line only. If I ask you how do I draw a line? A lot of time I ask people, describe this line, and then they all say it's straight. All lines are straight. Alright, so this is my 1 line right here. Okay. This. Okay. I missed this point. I missed this point. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, because this point has a name. Think about science. You guys learned this name. Starts with that O.
Origin.
No, starts with a O. You learned this in science where like this point is so off, it's irrelevant. Starts with a O. No. O U
Out.
Out what?
Output.
Yeah,
Outlier.
outlier. Right. This is called an outlier. You learned it in science. It means it's irrelevant. So, what does it mean? It means if you don't study at home but only pay attention in class, you should still be able to pass the class. Okay? Hey. Uh, and that's why this is a line graph. When all the points line up and you can form a line, it's a linear relation. And we can say this is a line of best fit. Okay. What a line of best fit means, it means it's like the line that's best fitting to the data. Okay, so let's try this one. Okay, can you guys take, why don't you guys try to construct this? Take 5 minutes, try to construct this graph. Okay, so you should always think about this before you jump onto doing the graph. Afterwards, when you're very comfortable with it, then you can just eyeball the data and then kind of think about this in your head. Then you don't have to write it all out. I saw a lot of you guys did the point. Is there a relation between bacteria growth and the number of days? Yeah, as the number of days increase, as the number of days increase, the number of bacteria also increase. Is it increasing standardly, like regularly? No. How is it increasing? Yeah. Sorry? Exponentially. Excellent. So do you think I should draw a line then?
No.
What should I draw? A curve, right? A curve. How many curves am I going to draw? One. So also one curve only, and it's called a curve of best fit. Okay, so your graph should look something like this. Notice I didn't go through this point. It's okay. I didn't really go through this point either. Curve of best fit, you don't have to go through every single point, but as long as it's one smooth curve that represents your data, that's what a curve of best fit means. Right? By the way, this going back to this one, sorry, is this a good graph? Is this a good graph? Why not? No, like I like the line of best fit, but there's some I lost 2-3 marks right here with this graph.
Oh.
Yes. Yes, I'm missing all this. Your grade 5 teacher taught you guys since grade 5. You have to label everything. Okay, so here would be hours. Here would be grade. Here would be the title, grade versus hours. Okay. What about this graph right here? Am I missing anything here? Yep, title. Okay, so same thing. I have to label my axis and label the graph because I know your grade 5, 6, 7, 8 teacher taught you guys this too. Based on just looking at the graph, I should know what it's about. Okay. Imagine you didn't write any of this. I look at this, I'm like, what does this represent? The stock market? Right? So that's why these are so important. I have to have those. Otherwise, half a mark off each. Dun dun dun. Each. Yeah. Okay. One last one. We can do this one quickly. Okay. For page 9. For page 9, minimum, maximum, -10 and 10. And then the scale, I decided to go by ones. And then minimum, maximum, -10 to 35. So for my y, I'm going to go by 5s. Okay. So this is what my graph looks like. Oh, Charles, thank you. One thing to remember, notice here, Charles, thank you. So notice for my x, I went up by 1s, and then my y, I went up by 5s. Can I do that? Can I go by 1s on my x and 5 on my y's? Yeah. All right, because they're different axes. So it doesn't have to be the same. It could be different. But what has to be the same is if you are going up by 1s on the right side of the x, you have to go by 1s on the left side of the x as well. Same thing, going by 5s, going by 5s. Right? So I have this. Should I draw a line or a curve in this case? Who says line to connect the dots? Who says a curve to make a happy face? Nobody put up their hand. So what should it be? Ramesh? It's a scatter plot. So Sam? Nothing. Right? There's no relation. You can see there's no connection between my x and my y. So I don't draw a line, don't draw a curve. I just leave it as a scatter plot. Okay? Okay. Okay. So, see. Okay. For homework tonight. For homework tonight, just page 10 and 11. These 3 examples. Right, try to do these 2 examples on page 10 and 11. And then tomorrow, you guys are going to work on page 12 to 14 at home. Okay? So, homework, page 10 to 11. And then tomorrow, page 12 to 14 at home. Okay, so remember tomorrow is an asynchronous day, so that's what you guys will be working on at home.